Imagine a professional golfer shooting like 28 under par.
It's absurd.
Right. And winning a tournament by 14 shots. I mean, a decade ago, that sounded like a Tiger Woods fantasy.
Or maybe somebody just playing a video game on, the absolute easiest difficulty setting.
Exactly. But last week, that was literally just a standard Sunday on the DP World Tour. We are living in this wild era where the traditional physical limits of golf are they're being absolutely shattered.
Yeah, the whole math of the game is being rewritten right in front of us.
It really is. So, welcome to the deep dive. Today we are opening up a massive intelligence briefing for you. We've pulled all the global tour leaderboards from the last 10 days or so.
And we've got the cutting-edge biomechanics intelligence reports, too.
Right, plus equipment white papers straight from the 2026 PGA show and all the advanced predictive analytics. Our mission today is to figure out exactly what is causing this global scoring explosion.
Because it's happening everywhere.
It is. We want to know how the integration of AI is changing the swing, and we're going to culminate in this epic cinematic preview of the 108th PGA Championship at Aronimink Golf Club.
What's fascinating here is that we aren't just looking at, a hot streak or a random anomaly.
All right, it's not a fluke.
Not at all. When you look at the raw data across every major professional circuit, you see a fundamental shift in human biomechanics and equipment capability. We're looking at a completely new breed of golfer.
And the baseline of performance they're establishing is it's something the architects of these classic courses never could have comprehended.
Never. Donald Ross wasn't building greens for guys hitting 9 irons from 200 yards.
Okay, let's set the stage with this global scoring arms race, because the sheer volume of birdies being made worldwide is just staggering. You look at the PGA Tour, right?
Yep.
And Kristoffer Reitan claims this massive breakthrough win at the Truist Championship at Quail Hollow Club.
Huge win for him.
Massive. He walks away with $3.6 million, 700 FedEx Cup points, and it completely alters his career trajectory. But it's not just that he won. It's the aggressive, fearless style of play that's taking over everything.
Which brings us directly to that staggering number you mentioned in the intro.
Premlall.
Yeah, over at the Estrella Damm Catalunya Championship on the DP World Tour, Yurav Premlall didn't just beat the field. He dismantled the entire concept of par.
28 under is hard to wrap your head around.
It really is. Shooting 28 under and winning by 14 shots, it actually threatens historical margin of victory records.
Yeah.
It shows that when a modern player gets locked in, the golf course literally has zero defense against them.
And it isn't an isolated incident. You look at LIV Golf Virginia at Trump National DC recently. Lucas Herbert goes wire to wire, right? Finishing at 24 under par.
Wire to wire at 24 under is incredible.
And he had to fend off Sergio Garcia at 20 under and Bryson DeChambeau at 19 under just to survive and win. You have to shoot 20 under just to be in the conversation now.
You really do. And, the underlying narrative at that LIV event is just as compelling, specifically regarding Anthony Kim.
Oh, wow. Yeah. What a story.
Right. He actually fired a final round 64 to finish tied for 6th at 16 under par.
Which is just wild considering where he was a few years ago.
Exactly. Analyzing his trajectory over the last 2 years, this is arguably one of the greatest biomechanical and mental reclamation projects in modern professional golf.
For sure.
He has fundamentally rebuilt his swing architecture to compete in this hyper-aggressive era. His old mechanics, they simply wouldn't have kept up with 20 under winning scores.
Yeah, we're seeing that same ruthless parity everywhere. On the Asian Tour, Travis Smith eagles the final hole to win at 15 under at the International Series Japan.
Incredible finish.
And Ian Snyman matches that 15 under number to win the Taifang Open. It's even bleeding into the LPGA Tour, where Gino Fittical outlasted Ruoning Yin at the Mizuho Americas Open.
Putting some intense statistical pressure on Nelly Korda's world #1 spot, by the way.
Definitely. And the pipeline is full of these players, too. S.H. Kim posted a 20 under par victory at the Korn Ferry Advent Health Championship.
And we can't forget the amateur ranks.
Oh man, UCLA, they just secured back-to-back Big Ten championships. And that was driven by their freshman phenom, Josh Kim, who took the individual title at 8 under par in incredibly tough conditions.
He's going to be a massive problem on tour in a few years.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, let's unpack this for a second. Let's figure out the why here. We are seeing 28 under, 24 under, 20 under across the globe. From veterans to college freshmen.
Yep.
It feels like a coordinated athletic arms race.
Yeah.
Are traditional golf courses simply obsolete now, or have these players cracked some sort of new physical code?
Well, the thing is, they haven't cracked a physical code. They've optimized it through pure data.
Okay.
This scoring explosion connects directly to the technological leaps we've been analyzing from the 2026 PGA show. We have officially shifted away from feel-based coaching.
Right, where a legendary coach just relies on their naked eye and intuition.
Exactly. We've moved from that to rigid, data-integrated biomechanics.
Right, the coaching layer. I was actually reading the specs on this rise of markerless 3D tracking. Because for years, if you wanted biomechanical data, a player had to wear one of those ridiculous skin-tight motion capture suits.
Oh yeah, with the ping pong balls all over their joints.
Exactly. But now they've completely ditched the suits. So how does a standard camera system actually track a golf swing perfectly in 3D?
Think of markerless 3D tracking like TrackMan's new TPS 10.3 system as basically facial recognition software, but for your entire skeleton.
Whoa.
Yeah. The cameras use these advanced depth sensing algorithms to map an invisible 3D grid onto the player's joints in real time. It tracks 26 distinct data points simultaneously.
And that's at what, 120 frames per second?
Yes, it measures hip sway, shoulder tilt, and, most importantly, your kinematic sequence.
And for the listener who might not be a biomechanics major, kinematic sequencing is essentially the chain reaction of energy, right?
Precisely.
Like how power transfers from the ground through your legs, into your hips, torso, arms, and then finally into the club head.
Correct. It's the holy grail of golf power. If your hips fire a fraction of a millisecond too early, energy is leaked.
And you lose distance.
Exactly. In the past, a coach would sort of just guess where that leak was. But now, TrackMan's Tracy AI watches the invisible grid and instantly spots flaws the human eye literally cannot process.
Wow.
It delivers completely unbiased swing corrections.
That is wild. And they are pairing this AI with physical environments, too. I looked at the white papers for the new Zen golf swing stage.
Oh, that tech is unbelievable.
It's a simulator floor that dynamically tilts under your feet to mimic real-world fairway gradients. So you're hitting a ball on like a 5-degree downhill lie with the ball below your feet while an AI tracks your skeleton.
And it tells you exactly how your balance shifted compared to a flat surface.
Yeah. I mean, that is just next level.
It creates a hyper-realistic, perfectly measured practice environment. But, the software is only half the equation here.
Right, the clubs themselves.
Yeah, the hardware in the player's bags has undergone what the industry is calling a calibrated speed cycle. We are seeing massive leaps in material science.
And this is the part I completely geeked out over. Cobra's secret 3D printed irons.
Yes, the 3DP series.
They have these 3DP MB and 3DP X models that Ricky Fowler and Max Homa immediately put into play at the TGL. Now, when you think of a golf club, you think of a blacksmith forging steel, not a 3D printer. How does a 3D printed iron fundamentally change the physics of a golf shot?
Well, it changes everything about weight distribution. Traditional forging limits where engineers can place the mass of the club head.
Because it's just a solid block of metal, basically.
Right. But because Cobra can 3D print a complex internal lattice structure inside the iron, they can remove heavy steel from the center and push the weight out to the extreme edges with microscopic precision.
Oh, I see. So if I hit the ball off the toe of the club instead of the center, that extra weight on the edge stops the club head from twisting in my hands.
That's the exact physics of it, yes.
So it essentially auto-corrects the slice.
Exactly the intended effect. It drastically increases the moment of inertia. And you combine that kind of forgiveness with, say, Ricky Fowler switching to the Cobra OPTM X driver.
Or Titleist rolling out the Vokey SM11 wedges.
Right, with their progressive center of gravity technology to perfectly control ball flight. Players are just hunting for every fractional advantage. I mean, even Rory McIlroy has been testing the tailor-made P7CB irons.
Moving away from his pure blades.
Yes, simply because the new cavity-back tech offers too much control to ignore.
Okay, wait, let me push back on this a little bit. If my club has an internal 3D printed lattice that auto-corrects my mishits, and I have an AI coaching algorithm telling me exactly how to shift my weight before I swing...
I know where you're going with this.
Aren't we just playing a video game in real life? Like, where is the actual athleticism or artistry in that? Does this strip the soul out of the game?
That is a very common concern. But if we analyze the results, the data actually enables the artistry. By using AI and perfectly calibrated equipment to sort of solve the mechanical baseline of the swing, it frees up the player's cognitive load.
Okay.
They no longer have to stand over the ball consciously agonizing about their hip sway or their grip pressure. Because the mechanics are basically automated, they can focus purely on creativity, trajectory control, and high-level course management.
Okay, I like that. The tech handles the science, so the human can focus on the art.
Exactly.
That makes sense. And just as technology is democratizing how the swing is built, it is aggressively democratizing how fans consume the game, which brings us to a massive business shift. The creator economy is colliding with traditional golf.
It really is. We are looking at a significant modernization of the PGA Tour's business model through their newly relaxed social media policy.
Finally.
Under these new impartial guidelines, players are now allowed to post up to 3 minutes of on-site competition footage, which is up from 2 minutes.
Right.
Furthermore, they could use 8-minute chunks of archived broadcast footage after a 72-hour window.
Now, the cynic might say, who cares about an extra 60 seconds of video? But in the algorithm-driven world of TikTok and YouTube, that extra minute is the difference between a viral video and dead air.
Absolutely.
Plus, the biggest change, players can now monetize their practice rounds via YouTube AdSense without transferring ownership of their channels back to the tour.
And the importance of that ownership cannot be overstated. It represents a massive shift in power.
And here is where it gets really interesting. You have to look at the Bryson DeChambeau factor as the ultimate case study.
Oh, he's the blueprint right now.
He really is. Bryson has built a staggering 2.7 million subscriber base on YouTube, primarily through his Break 50 series, where he brings on guests and tries to shoot a 49 in a scramble format.
His audience scale is massive, and he has stated very clearly that he would prioritize his YouTube content creation over a potential PGA Tour return if it meant returning to their historically restrictive commercial rules.
Right, regarding sponsor logos and on-site filming.
He understands exactly where his leverage lies.
I look at the PGA Tour right now like a legacy Hollywood movie studio. For 50 years, they controlled the distribution, the cameras, the theaters.
They had a monopoly.
Right. And now suddenly they wake up and realize they have to compete with individual creators who have massive direct-to-consumer audiences right in their pockets. How does this shift fundamentally alter what it means to be a modern tour pro?
Well, it forces a transition from being just an independent contractor playing for prize money to operating as a standalone media franchise.
Wow, a franchise.
Yes. A player's ultimate value is no longer dictated solely by their official world golf ranking. It is heavily weighted by their subscriber count, their engagement rate, and their ability to generate sponsor revenue outside the ropes.
And the traditional tours are adapting because the players have realized they hold the broadcast rights to their own personalities.
Precisely.
So we have this incredible landscape of players shooting historic video game numbers. They are armed with AI-optimized kinematic sequences, 3D-printed clubs, and the swagger of being their own media empires.
A perfect storm.
It is, and all of this modern firepower is about to be put to the ultimate stress test at the year's second major.
Every single technological and strategic trend we've discussed today is going to violently collide this week at the 108th PGA Championship.
Yes. Let's set the cinematic scene for you. We are heading to Aronimink Golf Club in Pennsylvania. This is a classic, sweeping architectural masterpiece designed by Donald Ross.
One of the best.
It is a venue steeped in history, demanding old-school shot-making, grit, and imagination. And it is about to host the most technologically advanced, TrackMan-optimized field in the history of the sport. It's the ultimate collision of the past and the future. So what makes Aronimink such a brutal test?
Well, a Donald Ross design isn't just about growing the rough out or stretching the yardage to absurd lengths.
Right. It's not just a bomber's paradise.
No, it's about the greens. Ross greens are specifically designed to create visual and strategic doubt. They feature these really aggressive false fronts, severe runoff areas, and complex internal contouring.
So you can't just miss in the wrong spot.
You cannot just overpower Aronimink. You have to hit very specific quadrants of the green, or your ball will end up 30 yards away down a collection area. And with the green speeds hitting like a 13 or 14 on the stimp meter, it's terrifying.
Which makes the data on the major players incredibly compelling this week. Let's start with the final boss of professional golf right now. World number one, Scottie Scheffler.
The final boss indeed.
For anyone new to advanced metrics, we look a lot at strokes gained, which essentially measures a player's performance against the rest of the field, isolating specific types of shots. Scottie is number one in total strokes gained and number one in scoring average. But you found a wild statistical contradiction in his armor.
Yeah, he is currently sitting 57th in strokes gained. approach.
Wait, how is the best player on the planet 57th and hitting the ball into the green? That doesn't even make sense.
I know, it's wild. It speaks to his absolute dominance off the tee and his supernatural ability to scramble around the greens. He is literally saving par from everywhere.
Oh.
But that 57th ranking in approach play highlights a severe vulnerability on a Donald Ross design.
Because of those false fronts and runoffs.
Exactly. If his iron precision is slightly off this week, Aronimink's runoff areas will punish him far more than a standard tour venue. He won't be able to just chip it close from the thick rough.
And then there's Rory McIlroy, world number 2, riding the emotional momentum of that historic Masters win just a month ago.
He's playing with a lot of freedom right now.
He is, and he's looking to validate his equipment changes, putting those new tailor-made P7 CB irons to the ultimate test when the pressure of a major championship Sunday demands perfect trajectory control.
We also have to evaluate the LV Golf contenders, who are bringing immense firepower to Pennsylvania. John Rahm arrives as the LV points leader, playing with just machine-like consistency.
And we mentioned Bryson DeChambeau earlier.
Yes. Shooting 19 under in Virginia shows he is in terrifying form.
For sure.
His combination of raw overarching power and his newfound wedge control makes him a massive threat to overpower the par 5s at Aronimink.
Now, because Aronimink demands such precise ball striking, you have to look at the pure iron specialists too. Xander Schauffele is incredibly balanced right now, sitting 21st off the tee and 15th in approach play.
Very dangerous.
And then you have Colin Morikawa. He is currently 2nd on the PGA Tour in iron play. And most importantly, the biomechanics reports show he is completely healthy.
Which is huge for him.
Yeah, he's fully past those lingering back issues that disrupted his kinematic sequence last year.
And in a major championship, the dark horses often dictate the narrative. We are looking at players whose statistical profiles perfectly fit the demands of a Ross design.
Who are you watching?
Well, Shane Lowry's elite shot-making in the wind is a big factor. Sepp Straka's unrelenting precision, and Wyndham Clark's sheer athleticism.
Good picks.
You also have to consider Kurt Kitayama, who historically thrives on torturously tough setups, and Thomas Detry, who has been a huge standout on the LIV circuit recently and possesses the length required to handle a major championship setup.
Okay, so here is the million-dollar question to tie all this together. We've seen guys shoot 28 under par recently. Can a classic layout like Aronimink truly defend itself against a field armed with AI-optimized swings and center-of-gravity auto-correcting irons? Or are we just inevitably going to see another 20 under par winning score?
It's a great question. The physical game might be solved by technology, but the mental stress of a major is completely unquantifiable.
Right.
Success at Aronimink won't just be about driving distance or achieving a perfect launch angle on an indoor simulator. Donald Ross designed those greens to exploit human anxiety.
I love that phrasing, exploit human anxiety.
It's true. To win this week, players will have to interpret complex course data on the fly, manage extreme mental pressure, and somehow maintain that perfect kinematic sequencing when the Sunday adrenaline hits their bloodstream.
The mental pressure really is the ultimate equalizer. It just disrupts the science.
Which leaves you with a final thought to ponder as we head into tournament week. If markerless 3D tracking, AI coaching algorithms, and perfectly calibrated equipment can essentially solve the physical mechanics of the golf swing, does the human mind become the only true hazard left on the golf course?
Wow, the mind as the final hazard. Because no matter how perfect the X-ray of your skeleton looks on a simulator screen, no matter what lattice structure is hiding inside your iron, it all gets muddy when you're standing on the 72nd hole of a major championship with your heart beating out of your chest.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean for you? It means you absolutely cannot afford to miss a single second of our coverage this week. The deep dive is going into overdrive. We are dropping new PGA Championships updates every single day this week.
Every day.
Yes. You are going to get daily analysis, round-by-round predictions, deep strategy discussions, player updates, and elite behind-the-scenes insights straight from the grounds at Aronimink. If you want the ultimate daily PGA Championship intelligence and the sharpest modern golf analysis, you need to hit that subscribe button right now.
It's shaping up to be an unforgettable week of major championship golf.
It certainly is. Thank you for joining us for this comprehensive global golf intelligence briefing. We will see you tomorrow.